The male escort gets on the stand, right? He's describing his relationship with Cassie and Diddy, and he's saying that, you know, up until a few years ago, in New York, whenever they would come here, they would call him because he would engage in different sexual acts with them, right? He's like, every single time he got the phone call, it was from Cassie. The way that he met them was through his boss. So his boss came to him one day and said, look, I have this couple who wants to do something for the wife. It's a bachelorette party. They need a male stripper. They didn't have a male stripper, so he went. He shows up in an NYPD t-shirt, and he says, Cassie, he alleges, Cassie opens the door. She's in red lingerie. She's in a wig, dark glasses, and pumps. And she's like, listen, your boss told me that I'm supposed to give you $200. And this is what he's alleging. And instead, she gives him $4,000. She's like, I want to explain to you what's about to happen. So this is not a bachelorette party. My husband likes to do special things for me. He wanted to do this for my birthday. He just wants us to like rub baby oil on each other and, you know, just kind of like get familiar with each other, and whatever happens from there, if you're comfortable, I'm open to it. So he's like, okay. He literally said, he said Cassie was one of the most beautiful women he ever seen in his life. He couldn't even believe that it was happening like this. So he walks in and he alleges that Puff was there sitting in the room, but you couldn't tell it was him because he had a bandana tied around his face and he had a hat on and he was sitting in the corner. So he says, but he did say the minute that Diddy opened his mouth to like say something,
take that.
I don't know what he said. It was probably like just an introduction of like, he said he said that they got into it. He says that they were rubbing each other with the oils. There was other lubricant there as well, and that him and Cassie had sex on the couch in that hotel allegedly, and that the whole time Puff sat in the corner and masturbated.
Executive producer, that's what he calls it.
And he did say he did say that, you know, he never Puff never got involved, but he was telling them what to do at different times.
That's how we know he don't make beats.
And he also made it clear too that when on the first time that they linked up, Cassie told him like, you have nothing to worry about. My husband is not gay. He's not going to touch you. He's not going to whatever. He just, you know, he might tell us what to do or whatever, but he's not going to be. It's just going to be us doing the physical things. He said that they linked up a lot more times after that. His payments would range anywhere from like $6,000 to like $4,000 or $5,000 depending on what they wanted to give him. He said sometimes he would even show up and wouldn't even get paid, but he was just like, I just like being a part of this lifestyle. So he randomly was just like recounting their experiences, and he just came out and said, well, one time Cassie asked me to, you know, urinate.
Cassie is on the stand, and I'm just going to read you the transcript because my battery's almost dying. But okay, he asked her how old she was. She said 38. She said she's a musician and an entertainer, and they asked how long she was with Diddy. She says 10 years. Then he goes into, did you get into arguments? Ventura: yes, it would result in violence and dragging. What else did he do? Stop me in the head if I was down. How frequently was he violent? Ventura: too frequently. I would get black eye and bruises. Let me show you a video. Where is this? Ventura: the Intercontinental in Los Angeles. It was after Freak Off. What does that entail? The hiring of an escort, setting it up. How did you feel when he first asked for it? Ventura: confused, nervous. I wanted to make him happy. Did you agree to one when he first proposed it? Yes. Then there were more. It wasn't something I wanted to do, at least not that frequently. At least not that frequently. Ventura: I didn't know what no could turn into. What do you mean? Ventura: making him angry. What were you afraid would happen if you said no? Ventura: thought at the time he had blackmail materials. What did you give the government? Laptops. Now they go into the laptops, who was on it. He asks who this picture was with, and she names Carrie Morgan, which is apparently like a supermodel and her best friend. And then they ask her, when did you sign to Bad Boy Records? Ventura: 2006. It was a 10-year deal. Did you release any after late 2006? Ventura: no. Who's in this photo? Ventura: Kim Porter. She was Sean's ex before me and the mother of his children. They ask her, where did you celebrate your birthday in this photo? Ventura: in Las Vegas. Carrie Morgan was there too. We were out on his patio on my 21st birthday. VMAs. Sean kissed her in the bathroom and she went back to her hotel and told Carrie. Okay. Now they're asking her, when you got back to New York? Ventura: I'd visit him in Trump Hotel in Columbus Circle. His apartment was being renovated. What were you going with your music career? Trying to come up with a concept. Sean called all the shots. What is the age difference between you and Sean Ventura? 17 years. How did you feel when Sean invited you to hotels? Ventura, nervous, excitement. We're going to talk about music. He introduced me to oral sex. I didn't understand it. Okay. I'm going to charge my phone and come right back, but I do want to say that her testimony sounds very rehearsed. Like, she knows how to introduce the next question. So they asked her, how does she feel? And she's like, very excited, right? The last statement, very excited. He introduced me to oral sex. Like, she brings up the violence right away. Like, she is very rehearsed. You can tell that they prepped her. So I can't wait to see what else. But you can see that by bringing out the pictures, that's when he approached her with wanting to take part in voyeurism. And she said, she didn't know much about that. He was pretty much her first in everything that they've done. Like, he taught her, like, everything. And she describes how controlling he was, the way she wore her hair, her color of her nails had to be white or French tip, things like that. And so he asked her, about voyeurism. She says she goes along with it, even though she didn't want to do them because she loved him. And so this voyeurism that he explained to her was him watching with another man. That's what turned into the freak offs. And she thought, like, okay, this is like a one-time kind of thing. And it turned into being so frequently that she said it took up almost all her time for years. Like, this was like days. She would spend days in these freak offs and then days recuperating. And so that would take up a week. And that was weeks within years of doing this. She went into detail about men urinating on her. Like, this is what he paid for. She did say that she was the one that solicited the workers that they hired. She was the one that paid them. And they asked her several times, like, why didn't you leave? And she said and affirmed several times two different things. One, that she loved him so much. She was jealous. She didn't want him to do it with anybody else. She wanted to please him. She wanted to seek his approval. She wanted to be with him. But she also said she was young. She didn't have a voice. And, that she was afraid that he was going to physically harm her because the abuse had started already. Like, he would slap her, tell her to fix her face, and do numerous things to her. So she was also afraid of what that would mean, how that would enrage him, her saying no. And she said no a few times, but then took it back. So then they go into like locations and stuff. And let me tell you, they're doing all of that because they're preparing to bring out the racketeering part. So that's why they asked her specific things. But then they get into, did she ever try to leave a freak off? And she says yes, at the Intercontinental Hotel. She wanted to leave early because she had a movie premiere, and he went to her where she was in the elevator and like try to drag her back in. And that's where we pause for today. We're going to continue with the testimony of that elevator footage that we have seen at the Intercontinental Hotel. She's going to start talking about that. That is where we're going to pick off. Okay, it is day 3 of the Diddy trial. Trial has not started yet. It starts about 9:30. It is about 9:15 in the morning. I want to recap a little bit about yesterday so that we know what we're stepping into and where we're continuing from. So yesterday, Cassie took the stand and she spoke about